Getting your business found in search is actually pretty easy. I mean, there are thousands of experts online with plenty to say on the subject. So with all that free-flowing advice, number one rankings are as good as right around the corner. Which is what I would be saying if the internet wasn't so full of bad and outdated SEO information that can actually keep you off of the first page of Google forever. Now, these are a few of the worst yet extremely persistent pieces of SEO advice that you may have heard and maybe you're still following on your website. We'll talk about why it's bad advice, how it's probably keeping you off the first page of Google, and what you should be following instead. So when you make these simple shifts, you're gonna be really surprised how your results can start turning around. The first piece of bad advice, that keywords are king. So most SEO advice goes a little something like this. Step 1, research your keywords. Step 2, write content that uses those keywords as many times as possible. Step 3, profit. Now don't get me wrong, keywords are important, but they aren't the be-all end-all they used to be, and here's why. Google's pretty much in the business of being a lot smarter than you or I, even if their intelligence is of the artificial variety. So even if your webpage doesn't use the exact phrase, dentist in Akron, Ohio 17 times, if you can tell the page is for a dentist in Akron, you can safely bet they know too. So you may be thinking, okay, fair enough, but adding my keyword 100 times couldn't hurt, right? Actually, it can. Think about what happens when you see a keyword jammed into a page over and over again. Does it read well? Is it persuasive? Probably not, right? Because it's hard to balance keyword stuffing with well-crafted, convincing copywriting. So when you focus on keywords and keywords alone, you're actually ignoring one of Google's most important ranking factors, how your site visitors react to your content. So if you scare them off with stilted wording, they're just gonna bounce pretty quick. And that can hurt your ability to rank in the future, not to mention, you just chased off a potential customer. Bummer. So rather than picking a keyword to use and reuse over and over again, just use it a few times in a few key places, like in the top headline, in a subheadline, and maybe once or twice in the regular body copy. Other than that, if you talk about what you do in an engaging way, you'll naturally use some of the words that Google would expect to find on a page in your industry. Plus, you'll be freed up to build a really strong case for why your prospects should work with you. Win-win. Bad SEO advice number 2, link building is dead. Now, before you dust off your black suit, I am here to tell you the nail isn't in that coffin quite yet. So there was a time in the early days of the World Wide Web where backlinks, or websites linking to other websites, were pretty much the only signal that Google had to gauge how popular, authoritative, or good a website is. The way it went was, the web page with the most sites linking to it won the race because, hey, more sites are linking to it, therefore it must be the best one. Now smash cut to today when, like I said, Google, she be smart.
Clever girl.
So some SEO experts out there have swung way too hard the other way and claim that since Google's so smart, links don't even matter anymore. Just focus on creating great content, they said. The rest will take care of itself, they said. I wish. While it's true that backlinks don't reign quite as supreme as they did back in 1998, they do still pack a punch. So by focusing completely on only what goes on your website, without ever doing any work to try to get other relevant, high-quality websites to link to yours, you'll get absolutely eaten alive by your competition who is. Told ya. So yeah, backlinks are still pretty key to high rankings, and here are a few tips to make sure that you get them right. First, make sure you only chase after links from high quality, real websites, and make sure those websites are related to your niche, right? If you're an interior designer, getting a link from a pet blog isn't gonna do much for you. You're useless to me. Now, if you want to build these links yourself, you can write guest posts for relevant blogs or even go on relevant podcasts as an expert guest, and they'll usually link back to whatever page you want them to. But if you're gonna pay for those links, make sure you know what you're paying for. Now, I generally like to pay more for higher quality links on a real blog that people actually read, as opposed to a bunch of spammy links that are on these really sketchy looking websites that are pretty much just there for the purpose of selling links on. They call those private blog networks, and they're garbage. Bad advice number 3. There's a perfect length for SEO. Now, I get it. People love hard and fast rules to live by. Always wait 30 minutes after eating before swimming. Drink Pedialyte with vodka to avoid hangovers, and write your web pages to be at least 1,000 words. So while I happen to agree with the first two, the last one's just plain wrong and can lead to some pretty uninspired writing. I remember back in high school when we had to write a 3-page book report on Catcher in the Rye. Actually, it was more closely based on the Cliff's Notes of Catcher in the Rye, but we'll keep that just between you and me. But when you have a length to hit, what do most of us do? We pad it, baby. We double space. We use more words than necessary to say the same thing. And that extra length isn't what's gonna help you. Backlinko actually did a study back in 2016 analyzing 11.8 million Google search results to see if there's actually anything to this word count thing. Their study revealed that the average page 1 result on Google contained 1,890 words of content. So, as you might expect, people took that tidbit and ran with it. What the study can't tell us though is if that word count itself was behind the rankings, or if a longer page just happens to contain more useful information that Google and site visitors can grab onto than a shorter one. Spoiler alert, it's the second one. So rather than focusing on word count alone, focus on being more thorough and complete than your top competition. Bad advice number 4, your website has to be lightning fast to rank. I can't tell you how many of my students and YouTube viewers come to me saying that they got a really low score in Google PageSpeed Insights, and they're ready to just eliminate every image on their website in order to get into the green zone so they can have a better chance of ranking in searches. Now don't get me wrong, page speed matters a lot. However, it won't necessarily cause your website to dramatically increase or decrease in rankings. Now, the truth is, they tend to treat page speed as more of a tiebreaker between two otherwise equally weighted pages. And in fact, Google representatives Gary Illies, Martin Splitt, and John Mueller recently chatted in the Search Off the Record podcast about why that is.
You can make a really fast empty page, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily a good result for people.
So rather than stripping your website down to the point of black text on a bare white page, which isn't going to be very appetizing for your visitors,
what the fuck is this?
You're much better off trying to make your site feel fast while keeping all the richness that comes with images and video that's really going to help you sell what you're offering. And to help you do that, just use the NitroPack plugin, which is going to reduce your image file sizes, and it's going to add a lazy loading feature to your site, which essentially just prioritizes loading only what the user sees when they first get to your website. Then, after that, they start loading the rest of the content bit by bit as they start to scroll down. To your users, it feels really fast, and they still get the full experience. Bad advice number 5, social media will help you rank. So, since the early 2010s, every SEO blog you can read has been inundated with posts about this idea of social signals as a new ranking factor. These posts basically theorized that Google was really heavily weighing everything from how many likes and shares your web page has got on Facebook to your number of followers to your social media posts themselves. It was wrong then, and it's even more wrong today. So here's a really brief timeline of how it all went down. In 2010, Google said that this wasn't a thing. In 2012, they said they were trying it. This is pretty much where Google Plus came from, if you remember that. Then in 2014, they admitted that it didn't work out and was once again not a thing. So does this mean that you shouldn't concentrate on social anymore? Not at all. So if social is in line with other aspects of your marketing strategy, it certainly has its place. But don't expect the stuff you post on Instagram or even one of your blog posts going viral over on LinkedIn to help you with ranking and search. At least not directly. We know that backlinks are a ranking factor, and we also know that social media can get more eyeballs on your site's content, and that can lead to more people linking to that content, but that's it. So what exactly does work for good SEO? I've got this video for you to watch next, and it's going to show you the handful of simple things that you can do that will really move the needle for you much faster. So click this video right here, and I'll show you just how easy it is. I'll see you there.